morning, guys. My name is Jerrikka, and we are Cookies and Cream Consulting, and we are investigating the issues that happened with the Jeep Grand Cherokee, specifically with the accident that happened last June 2016 in regards to the actor Anton Yelchin. This is...
My name is Ceballos. Hi, welcome everybody.
I'm Carly.
My name's Shawn.
Hi, Perales. Hola, I'm Perales.
So I'm going to give you the history of what happened of the Jeep something. So Jeep started in 1940 when the U.S. military needed reconnaissance car. That is the military way in need of a car to be used during the military time. A car that will be very portable, that will be moving very, very fast. So in 1950, Jeep were adopted by the civilians. So civilians started to buy Jeeps. And then, in 1970s, Jeep was purchased from the Keller Motor Company Corporation. And in 1973 to 2017, so the amount of recalls increased tremendously up to the main issue of 214. So the Jeep, and there were a lot of recalls throughout, and now the Jeep company are having problems because of how were operating the Jeeps. The shifter was not fixed in the right way, which causes problem to them.
So Jeep is an innovative and rugged company, and they remain that way. They remain at the top of their game. The Jeep Grand Cherokee has been consistently the award winner of Top Safety Pick by the Institute of Highway Safety, Midsize SUV Challenge winner by Cars.com, and also Best Buy from Consumers Digest. Recently, we learned that the death of Anton Yelchin in 2014, which rocked our nation and Hollywood, in the result of the faulty gear shifter installed in his 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The mono-stable gear shifter, as you can see the picture here, excuse me, the mono-stable gear shifter was installed in many 2014 and 2016 Fiat Chrysler automobiles and has caused over 800,000 automobiles, cars and SUVs, to not remain in the desired gear shift. The technology confuses drivers into thinking they're in park or another gear, and the indicators are very deceiving. Unlike traditional shifters, the mono gear shifter does not lock into place once you put it in a park or drive. It remains back in its original state, much like a joystick. Also, the indicator lights that are on the gear shifter disappear at the sight of sunlight. So as you can see, if you think you're in park and the sun's shining, you really don't know. This is just going to be a little video to explain the mono gear shifter. I know some people don't know what it looks like and how it works. So we're just going to run through this.
Fiat Chrysler Automobiles NV said on Monday it would investigate the crash that killed Star Trek actor Anton Yelchin, who was crushed to death by a recalled 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Fiat Chrysler recalled more than 1.1 million cars and SUVs worldwide in April because vehicles reportedly may roll away after drivers exit due to the design of the gear shifter. The automaker said some drivers might have been confused by the electronic gear shift system, which moves like a joystick rather than along a gate path, like conventional gear selectors. The mono-stable gear shifter was designed to always return to the default center position. This caused some people to inadvertently place the vehicle in neutral when they thought they had placed the car in park. The automaker said it planned to change the behavior of the shifter by adding additional warning chimes that will go off when the driver's door is open and the vehicle is not in park. In a May 24th letter to dealers, Fiat Chrysler said it also planned on getting the software updates required to fix the vehicles by no later than July or August. The LAPD said on Monday that authorities were aware of the Jeep recall issue and were looking into whether it played any role in Yelchin's death.
Alright, so what are some alternative courses of action that the company should have taken? One alternative action would be that if Fiat Chrysler Automobiles had stayed the current course and delayed communication to consumers after identifying the faulty mechanics. The FCA and consumers could have worked together to discuss all potential or current issues. Another alternative would be that if the FCA could have informed the public about the faulty gear shift immediately once they were aware of the problem. The issue should have been acknowledged with empathy and a desire to establish credibility. The public should have been educated on the potential risks and then reflecting and examining problems and resolutions to those problems which could prevent conflict. Thirdly, the company could have developed an issues management department that is responsible for representing the voice of the consumer in all product complaints to help resolve them. Now, in assessing the alternatives, conducting an approach to use to analyze the proposed alternatives would identify the risks and the rewards. And the beginning of an assessment of what is working well for FCA policies that are already in place and what has not worked well would help the FCA identify areas to improve on. In a time where consumers can post concerns and complaints on social media and quickly spread a negative reputation of a brand, it is essential to addressing the problem as soon as possible. Lastly, the company could use a third party to analyze the safety and research developments of the manufacturer to ensure total integrity of the product. If this were accomplished, and the new gear shift was manufactured, and claims of the gear shift were being faulted were reported, it is essential to the brand that this is acknowledged and reported right away to ensure on its mission of safety for consumers.
So, we live in a society that is in such a rush to computerize every little thing that we can, minimizing or removing human interaction as much as possible. This tragic story is yet another reason why we need to take a slower approach when it comes to computerizing vehicles. This product failed because there had not been enough security features in the vehicle, so that the driver would be more aware of what gear the vehicle was in. Ethical leaders would have shouldered the responsibility when it came to the mistakes the company had made. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, Jeep's manufacturer, failed to take responsibility and should have fixed this before the vehicle had been released to the public. We believe that the FCA should have addressed this problem before things escalated so quickly, placing people's lives at risk. According to Steve Berman, he's a managing partner of Hagen's Berman Law Firm, the FCA knew the shifter was defectively designed and unreasonably dangerous. They had the ability to install a safety override that would have prevented hundreds of accidents and at least one death. The company simply chose not to do this, just as they chose not to warn the drivers about the problem. They need to be held accountable for these failures. Our team believes that ZF Friedrichshaven, which is the manufacturer of the gear shifter unit, should also share the cost to repair or replace the defective shifter. The company should have used the utilitarianism approach when dealing with these problems. This ethical approach seeks the greatest good for the greatest number of people, not for the greater good of the company's profits. The FCA should have been proactive in their research and development so that the company would have not had this issue in the first place. The FCA needed to make sure to inform the vehicle owners about the issue, educate the owners how to properly use the gear shifter, and offer an immediate resolution, which was the safety override system. These car companies should always have the safety of their occupants as their #1 priority.
So what did we learn? In the modern business world, providing a great product shopping experience will only get you so far. If you really want customers to come back and keep coming back, you have to let them know their dollars are doing something good. Social responsibility. In this case, Jeep did not do this. They did not have a responsibility to its consumers that ended up in a death. The object of CSR is to encourage actions and promote activities that have positive impact on employees, stakeholders, clients, and environment. Just last Tuesday, we learned about having a proactive strategy to dealing with these issues. In researching this death and the gear shifter, we did not find one official press release from Fiat Chrysler or any manufacturer. That lets us know that leadership did not step forward and take responsibility, that they did not proactively address the issue and calm down their clients. Ethics and values. Did Jeep display good ethics and values? Obviously not, because once again, there was no ownership taken. All they did was give a, brief, oh, well, we're investigating, we're looking into it, we're doing this and we're doing that. But not saying we are responsible, we take the responsibility, and we will fix this issue for you.
So in conclusion, we can state that Chrysler automobiles did not fully test the gear shift. This was due to the fact that they were driven by technology and time. They made an unethical decision by putting the company first and not the customer. And they lack the basic skill of communication. If in the near future Jeep were to have an issue like this, they need to address it quickly, and overall we can just hope that Jeep will test their products to the fullest and learn from this unpleasant experience. Thank you.
Does anybody have questions for this group? So Jeep really didn't recognize the problem? What was like their response?
So they called for the recalls of all of the Jeeps that were made with that gear shifter, but there was no official press release. Like, we had been looking for months, and like Cara said, until last Tuesday, we came to the conclusion, not even on the Jeep's website, and then also on other car websites, like Car and Driver, I think cars.com, and there's another one, Edmunds, we couldn't find anything. So it's not like they're owning up to the problem.
And they've made comments. They've made comments in certain articles, but never officially decided to say, hey, this was a problem, and this is our issue, and we're taking full responsibility for it.
Oh, okay. Because I have one, and when they had a recall, they send you a car to your home.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if they did that.
They did that. They sent out the recall notices, but there was no communication to the mass public about any press releases or saying, hey, this is what we're doing to get it fixed.
They had a question. You can come back to me.
Didn't they send it out and they stated on there that it was voluntary, knowing that it was completely dangerous situation, knowing that they should have
The
changed
recall,
it?
yeah. They
Okay.
said it was completely voluntary.
And in that notice, they said, well, you've mistakenly put it in this particular position mistakenly. So they didn't outright say, okay, well, hey, you should do it this way, and this is how you do it. No, they insinuated that consumers mistakenly did not put the gear shift in the right gear. And so basically kind of throwing the blame on the consumer rather than saying, okay, this was complicated, we did it this way, and we should have explained it better, or we should have did this better.
Sometimes they lied during my investigation that they included the direction how to operate the car, but they were lying, which was unethical.
My only question was that, did they issue a statement on the death of the actor?
Not on Jeep's part. No. All of the statements that we found regarding Anton Yelchin's death was all media. CNN, NBC, all of the major news outlets, even like smaller news outlets that just like do online news, nothing from Jeep. Yeah. Or nothing from even Fiat Chrysler.
It was horrible. I did not see anything.